Hey there guys, Farman Official here and welcome to this Age of Empires 4 video. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to do a Delhi Sultanate build order. Really excited for this one. I'm really starting to enjoy playing Delhi Sultanate. So this is going to be an updated build order because of course they've had a couple of changes. They've reduced the amount of wood that they start off with, so that kind of gives you some decisions to make. But generally I tend to go for a very early mosque opening. Okay, so let's start by taking a look at the build. Now we're going to send 5 of the first 6 villagers to wood, the straggler tree, 1 to build a house, and the mill. And we take our scout, of course, to find as many sheep as possible. Now, these villagers that are on the straggler tree, they're just going to take one journey, just one trip. And that will give them 50 wood, and that's enough for getting the mosque. These villagers now are going to build the mosque. It's really important, though, that you don't cancel the straggler tree, because you're going to need to come back to that a little bit later. So the first 2 villagers from the town centre will go to gold, like that. This villager will go back to food. So all the wood villagers go back to food. Well, basically all the starting villagers end up on food to make 6. Once the mill is up, make sure you get wheelbarrow first, and then survival techniques. We're going to end up cancelling survival techniques in feudal age anyway, because we want to prioritize horticulture. From the mosque, we want to get the efficient production tech. Make sure you click the berries there. Efficient production, which allows scholars to garrison military buildings, boosting production by 100%. It's fantastic for early aggression. And then we're going to queue up piety as well. The next villagers will go to the berries to make 9 in total. So the first 6 villagers end up on food, 2 to gold, and then now we're going to get up to 9 on food by adding another 3. I will actually release a PDF version of the build order if you're interested in that. It's quite nice to have it on a second monitor sometimes. To refer to if you're playing a game. Now that we've got 9 villagers on food, we're going to send the next 12 villagers to wood, and we're going to go back to the straggler tree. That's, to be fair, that's actually probably close. You know what? We're going to go there. Usually you end up going to a straggler tree, but it turns out that's actually closest. And what it is we're going to end up building the lumber camp there anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Okay. Get as many sheep as we can. It's best to queue up or control group 4 villagers who are on the berries, because they're going to be building your landmark. Do you know what, guys? We're going to go with the Tower of Victory today. You can, Dome of the Faith is really popular, gives you the cheaper scholars, but Tower of Victory can actually give your military a really good boost. So what we want to do is we want to place our Tower of Victory kind of near the front of our base, so that when the military do get kind of waypointed forward, they actually naturally pass through the Tower of Victory, so that they can get that buffing of the increased attack speed, which is really useful. So we're going to force drop off and go up to the next stage. So Tower of Victory there. Let's put it there. And these villagers go back to berries. We could just about afford the lumber camp now. There we are. Get these back home. So yeah, we're going to get 12 on wood, and what we'll do is we're going to drop an archery range to start off with. I really like going for archery ranges to start off with, and then what we'll do is we'll add a second production building, either a stable or a barracks. It just depends, what you're up against. Get forestry here. Sometimes the villagers, when they finish taking berries, they don't go to the next one, so let's just shift clue them. Okay, good. We're going to take a villager off of wood just to build a house when we can afford it. It's really important that you keep an eye on your wood situation here, because you don't want to get housed. There we are, we can afford it now. Let's build it. We're looking good. Make sure these guys go back to food. 2 on gold, which is very nice, and we're looking good. Let's get the sheep right underneath the town centre. Oh, it's being a bit stubborn here. There is a way to do it. There we are. Perfect. They're right underneath the town centre, right for the taking when the time is right. We're nearly up to the feudal age. What we want to do is collect enough wood, and we'll drop the archery range. Now, because we researched efficient production, we're going to be getting scholars into that production building. Now, obviously, if you went for the Dome of the Faith, you would be getting more scholars a lot quicker, but we wanted to go for a bit of an aggressive thing, because the Tower of Victory is really quite useful. Melee and ranged unit infantry near this landmark get 20% attack speed. It's very, very nice. Okay, so we want to queue up Sanctity. double broadaxe. We actually want to prioritize double broadaxe, and we want to get the gold mining upgrade. So plenty of villagers on wood. Let's actually start to put down our archery ranges. Make sure that they're under the influence, or they can extend your influence anyway. Looking pretty good. So 8 on wood so far, and let's just keep circling around, get as many sheep as possible, guys. So I think we've done everything we needed to. Pretty much, yeah. So I tend to like putting a blacksmith at this point as well. We're gonna have double the production from the archer range, you know, just to tide us over. When we'll get the upgrades, you know, ticking along really. And what we didn't do actually is queue up scholars, which we really probably should. Yeah, we want to make sure that we can get archer production as well now. Now, if you're up against an aggressive civ like the English civilization, you can do what I'm doing now, which is taking the scholar outside of the mosque and put them into the archer range, and then you're looking good. Okay, we've got 12 on wood now, so we can get the next villagers to the sheep there. Let's get all these sheep back home, shall we? Very nice numbers of sheep here. And make sure we build a house. Okay, getting good production. And just get your rally point over to the landmark so that you're constantly getting them buffed. And so guys, this is very much your build order. You may want to actually get a scholar before getting sanctity, but it just depends what your opponent's doing. Our opponent's going for a 2-town center boom, most likely, the Abbasid dynasty, so we can afford to actually get sanctity first, and then with the first scholar go out to get the sacred sites. Put some pressure on our opponent, get the scout forward. So we're actually scouting what our opponent's doing. And if you want to at this point, you know, you've got a couple of archers here. You can actually ungarrison the archer range, go towards back into the mosque, make sure you build houses, and then start saving up for a second production building, maybe a stable, maybe a barracks. Up to you really what you want to go for, if you want to go for spearman. Alternatively, instead of going for the second production building, well, you can do both actually, just start getting some palisade walls down, and after sanctities come out, we can actually start to waypoint our mosque forward. You can even take this, actually, you know what, we'll take the scholar out now. That scholar that's there, to go towards the sacred site. Want to look to refresh our lumber camp there. And so as you can see, we've got quite a lot of food in the bank, and the reason for that is because we could have actually got a second production building, especially things like horsemen could be a good thing to get. So if we didn't spend so much wood on the palisades there, we could have actually started to invest in units. But because we're not under that much pressure, you know, it's not a bad idea to just go for the palisades. So I'm actually going to start to supervise our buildings now. I'm going to go for a very aggressive kind of build. Okay, we see some horsemen there. Because we see the horsemen, I actually probably want to just get these archers inside, just in case he tries to siege down the palisades. And that keeps us safe for now. I'm going to get the scholar to go to the stable first, so that we can actually start to get a lot of horsemen. We'll double produce horsemen. I'd also really recommend getting a second blacksmith. That will just help you research things that much faster. Let's get that producing here. And now that we're going to double produce horsemen, that's actually really key, because you do need that food economy for that. Let's get more scholars. As you can see, you've got plenty of gold as well. What you can do sometimes here is drop a market if you want to go for a really feudal aggression, like huge amounts of feudal aggression. You can use the market and just sell all your gold, getting upgrades in. You may also want to even get a second mosque, which I quite like to do, just to increase the speed of research. So instead of selling the gold, you can actually get a second mosque, which is very nice. Okay, let's get the sacred site now. And yeah, we can just do the same, just circle around to the other sacred sites and make sure you get houses. And as you can see, we've got really good production 9 minutes into the game. Our opponent's being pretty passive. So what we might want to do is actually be a bit more aggressive and go towards our opponent's base and cause some harassment. But yeah, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this build order tutorial. I'll probably stop it here. If you did enjoy this video, do give the video a thumbs up. And I shall hopefully, guys, see you on some next build order tutorials. Take care, guys, and see you next time.